And hey there, and welcome to this special edition of Golf Live and our coverage of the 146th British Open. I'm Ryan Aselta. Day 2 at Royal Birkdale brought blustery conditions to the west coast of England, and the scores reflected the stiff test that golfers faced on Friday. Just about 2 rounds complete, and Jordan Spieth has grabbed control of the Open Championship. He leads by 2 strokes at 6 under par. Let's welcome in Golf.com's Jeff Ritter. And Jeff, you said yesterday one of the things you were looking forward to was the nasty weather rolling in. Well, it rolled in today. It was wet. It was windy. How much of a factor did this weather play on the golf course today?
And how great was it to watch? I mean, it was a great day to just kick back on your couch and take it all in. Weather was a huge factor. I mean, we talked at the end of yesterday, there are more than 30 players under par after round 1. And as we sit here now, I believe we're at 11 players left in red numbers, with a couple guys hanging by a thread finishing their rounds, and they may not make it by the time we're done. So it was a great equalizer today. It shuffled up the field. We still have the same few names at the top, though, which I find interesting, and it shows the staying power that they have. But certainly, this was that open weather that when you think about the British Open and those gray, blustery days, this was it today.
Yeah, vintage Open Championship conditions. You mentioned the top of the leaderboard. It's Spieth, it's Poulter, 2 strokes back. Brooks Koepka, 3 strokes off the pace right now. Let's talk about Spieth. How impressive has he been? Just dealing with the elements today, really a little bit of everything. Had 3 birdies, 4 bogeys, and a huge eagle putt on his back 9 today. He's at 6 under par today after shooting that 69 on Friday. Spieth just seems like he's kind of in cruise control a little bit right now.
It's a lot of grit, you know. It's the weather. It's not that it was all smooth sailing, but he has this extra gear, or he has these extra just sensational moments that no one else is able to match today. I mean, you mentioned the eagle. How about the shot setting up the eagle? It's a 3-wood from the short rough. It gets about 5 feet off the ground the entire time and rolls out 270 yards or so, and just those moments, you know, not only does he chip in earlier in the round, but he makes a near ace in the middle of the round too. There's just something about him, you know. He finds an extra gear, or has this extra ability to pull off shots that no one can in the game right now, and it's those extra few shots. That's what's separating him on the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, the chip in on 10 was a big highlight from Spieth's round. So he's at 6 under par. Remember, he likes this type of golf. During his run in 2015, of course, he just missed making that playoff at the Open Championship at St. Andrews after winning the Masters and the U.S. Open. So it seems to suit his game very well, that grinder mentality that you mentioned. Speaking of grinders, how about Ian Poulter, who's kind of grinded the last few years of his career? This is a guy from millimeters away, Jeff, from losing his tour card. All of a sudden, he gets his tour card after some particulars were noticed in the rules. He still has it. He's at the Scottish Open last week. It's a top 10. And all of a sudden today, he shoots 67 on Friday. He's only 3 shots off the pace here.
Yeah, it's a great story. I mean, the fact that, as you allude to, he lost his tour card, but a scoring error corrected it. It was such a fine margin for him to qualify on points or dollars earned to still hang on with tour status. And now here he is. And he said as much, that he's finally healthy. He's able to put in the practice. When you battle injuries, sometimes guys can drift a little bit. And that seems to be the case with Poulter. But now he's back. He obviously, I mean, he contended at the Scottish Open. He's all of a sudden just really burst back onto the scene in the last month or so, it seems. And it's not a fluke. You know, this is an event that I'm sure he'd love to win more than any other major. It suits his game the best, just being from the UK and playing this type of golf his whole life. And he's, again, more of a tactician than a power player when it's going right. He's a guy that he gets around with the short game and guile and grit, kind of like a Jordan Spieth. So it's not a fluke at this point, and it's another fun story to watch heading into the weekend.
Yeah, he's always been a polarizing figure because of his Ryder Cup play, of course. You either love him or hate him. Well, he's playing some good golf right now. We're going to hear from him a lot this weekend. Another guy who found his game just in the nick of time was Rory McIlroy. Yesterday's start, he goes his first 6 holes. He's 5 over par. He gets this pep talk from his caddy saying, "What are you doing? You're a 4-time major winner. Get it together." And he's gotten it together. He played the next 30 holes in 6 under par. He shoots a 68 today. He's 1 under par, and all of a sudden, Jeff, Rory McIlroy is only 5 shots behind Spieth on the leaderboard.
Yeah, he's right in it. I mean, we didn't know. Yesterday it was the tale of 2 rounds, right? He had that terrible front 9, flipped it right around to the back 9 coming in. And today he was at times spectacular. He really had it going in the morning. And he became, really, for the first part of the day, he was the story of the tournament out there, because the wind was just howling everybody was struggling, it seemed, but Rory had it in red numbers there. So, yeah, pep talk from the caddy. What did he say? Who's your name? Remember who you are.
Remember who you are, basically. It's like, what are you doing? You're not
like
just
Rory McIlroy.
Be
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy. That's basically what he told him, yeah.
I need somebody to try that with me on my next round and see if that works. Remember who I am. You know, McIlroy has struggled with injuries this summer, and so you had to think at some point he's going to knock the rust off and feel good again. I wasn't sure that it would happen this week at a major, but certainly this is another guy. He's got one of these under his belt already as a British Open champion. He can do it. It looks like it's coming together for him, and now, like you said, he's right in this tournament.
It's amazing. We've seen this before. I believe it was the Masters where he got off to a rough start, and all of a sudden he played, you know, a 25-hole stretch and 5 or 6 under par, and he was back in it. If you could just avoid those rough starts, it seems, he'd be right there, and he's going to be there this weekend as well. A couple guys who won't be there this weekend. Let's talk about the cut line, which slid throughout the day as the weather rolled in. A couple guys got lucky. Jason Day, as the cut line came down, he looks like he'll make the cut right on the number at 5 over par. Lee Westwood, the same thing. Phil Mickelson not as lucky, though. Lefty shoots 77 on Friday. He is gone 10 over par heading home for the weekend. How surprised are you with what we saw from Mickelson this week?
A little. I mean, he hasn't missed a cut this year. I also, you know, you wondered if because he played so great at Troon last summer, finishing second place, and he was hitting irons so well at this tournament a year ago, you wondered if his strategy coming in of dropping the driver for an extra 3-iron, I mean, sometimes he overthinks it, but you wonder if maybe he kind of had this tournament down a little bit. It just didn't click for him this week. So I'm surprised. It's just one of those weeks, I think, for Phil. I do think Bones had a good week, or is having a good week.
He's having a great week on TV.
That's about all you can say for the former Team Mickelson, but it's just not Phil's week.
Oh, let the speculation begin. Phil's first major without Bones, and he misses the cut. They want to bring him back? I don't know, Jeff. Phil, the drought's still going on. He hasn't won.
Maybe a pep talk, at least, from Bones.
Something from Bones. He hasn't won now since the 2013 British, so the drought is very much alive for Phil Mickelson. All right, Jeff, thanks so much for being with us, man. All right, well, 146 editions of the Open Championship has given us, of course, tons of golf history. But how well do you, or more importantly, our golf experts like Jeff here at Golf Magazine and Golf.com, know their Open history? We put them to the test. Take a look.
Golly. So bad that I can't come up with this because I know this.
No, I don't. Pass.
Oh, Mr. 5 times. Honestly, I got nothing. I don't know Australian golf.
Peter Thompson. Yeah?
Peter Thompson.
Peter Thompson.
God. All right, let's go. Next question.
Ooh, wow. And it's not Royal Birkdale?
Royal Liverpool and St. Anne's?
I'm going to say Royal Birkdale.
Lytham.
Royal Liverpool.
I'll go with Hoylake.
Royal St. George's.
Wow. I didn't realize that he won in a playoff.
He didn't beat Bob Tway, did he?
It wasn't Hunter Mahan. How about Scott Verplank?
But I'm going to say Scott Verplank.
Brian Watts.
I would never in a million years have remembered that. It would seem to me it would be that funny-hatted, slim-panted Jesper Parnevik.
It's got to be Jesper, right?
That was Parnevik, wasn't it? Jesper Parnevik?
Jesper Parnevik.
Poor Jesper.
I'm down to Watson or Gary Player.
It's got to be either Player or Arnie.
Or Jack. I don't think it's Jack again.
If Jack had the most U.S. Open, it's tempting to say him, but I'm wondering if it's some rando. 46. Has Tom Watson played in that many of them?
I'm going to go with Gary Player.
Gary Player.
I'm going to say Gary Player. Yeah.
Scary player.
His nickname is Hyphen. I don't know why. I'm just a total void. The hyphen throws me off.
I was there. I didn't know the nickname, but Ian Baker Finch.
Ian Baker Finch.
Ian Baker Finch? Wait. Yes, Ian Baker Finch.
Baker Finch!
Ooh, Ian Baker Finch. Nailed it.
All right, it looks like Alan Shipnuck was our winner. Well, defending British Open champion Henrik Stenson, he'll be playing the weekend after a second round 73. Stenson now sits at 1 over par. Now, Stenson is looking to become just the 4th player in the last 50 years to repeat as Open champion. I recently sat down with Henrik, who talked about what the last year has been like as a new major champion, and of course about his final round duel with Phil Mickelson at Royal Troon.
It's a dream come true to win a major championship and especially to win the Open Championship. As a European, that was the one I started watching when I was a kid. Some of my first television golfing memories are from watching the Open. So it's been busier, more demand on my time. I've been trying to fight that off as good as I can. But I mean, in the bigger picture, it's great. I don't get tired of looking at the claret jug, that's for sure. Regardless of how I would have played, just to get your name on or get my name on that trophy, that was the most important thing that day. Then of course it was a bonus to go out and play as well as I did and have such a great battle with Phil over the last day and a half and managed to take him down man against man and, you know, break championship records and get your name in the history books like that. That's special. It was a bit of a painful moment for him, of course. He had a great chance to win a second claret jug and I kind of came in the way of that. And at the same time, I think we've both gone through ups and downs. We've had good moments and bad moments throughout our careers, and I think it's easier to accept defeat when you play as well as he did and being beaten by someone who has a phenomenal day like I had. So it's not something we talk a lot about. I got a lot of respect for Phil as a player and as a person, and we kind of move on. It's new tournaments, it's new prizes to be won. So I think we're both trying to look ahead and try and put ourselves in that position once again. When it's game time, it's game time. I mean, I'm trying my hardest to play my best. I mean, you can't be focused for 4 hours straight. When I play my best, I'm super focused when I'm hitting the shots and being into the moment there, and then I relax away from it, and then when I'm walking, I'm talking with my playing partners, with my caddy. You got to switch off then, because otherwise it's going to drain you, and the most tired you are, that's really when you're playing bad, and those are the rounds you're coming in and you're just like mentally drained. So that on and off is crucial, really, and I'm quite laid back and like to have a good time when I'm away from the golf course. I've had a long career. It's been successful, but I've also had some pretty big slumps and ups and downs. So yeah, it's pretty interesting when you put it all together.
All right, welcome back to this special edition of Golf Live and our coverage of the British Open. I'm Ryan Aselta, joined now by Golf.com's Sean Zock. And Sean, we just saw Henrik Stenson right there, played some good golf today. He's making the cut going into the weekend at 1 over par. But rough day yesterday for the Stenson family, who were burglarized while they were at the golf course. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a sad story just because this is your defending champion, right? He's coming to Southport. He's going to be the defending champ of the Open. He's looking forward to having a great week. He actually played really, really well on Thursday, and then this happens. He gets money stolen, electronics were stolen, clothes were stolen, stuff that just sets him off for the whole week. It's really just sad news from Birkdale.
Yeah, I guess he said afterwards he's going to try to not let it ruin the week. And
it's hard.
To hear the police talk, they said the clothing, it's got his Hugo Boss, but NetJet's also on it. So if you see anyone trying to sell you that, you know where it came from. It's Henrik Stenson's gear. All right, let's look ahead to the weekend here. Third round gets underway on Saturday. Weather could be a factor again. I believe there's wet rain in the forecast again on Saturday in Southport. Looking at this leaderboard here, outside of the first page of the leaderboard, who do you think makes a move to get on that first page?
I'm really looking at Hideki Matsuyama. The guy is an incredible ball striker, and he's been really flying under the radar the entire event. Now, he kind of tripped up later on today, made a double bogey on 17, but besides that, he's played really controlled golf. He's made 4 birdies each day, so the guy's in a really good ball striking zone. He could kind of rattle off what he did at Erin Hills earlier this year and put himself up the leaderboard on the weekend. Besides him, though, there's a couple of really good Open Championship players at 2 over. You got Sergio Garcia and Ricky Fowler. These guys, they play links golf really well as anybody, so look for them to make a move too.
You mentioned them about 8 strokes within Jordan Spieth. You mentioned Matsuyama. He's 2 over on the day at even par, but he puts birdies up in bunches. You mentioned Erin Hills. I think he had 5 or 6 in a row at some point on that second round at Erin Hills. How about the top of the leaderboard here? Who do you think takes command of this event? Is it Jordan Spieth kind of running away, or do you think he's going to be pushed a little bit?
I think he'll be pushed. It's going to be tough for anyone to jump over Spieth. He's already got a 2-stroke lead over everybody else, and 3 and 4 and 5-stroke leads over a lot of the guys on the top of that leaderboard. I think if anyone does it, though, I think it's Brooks Koepka. It's incredible the round he played today, just kind of holding it together. He didn't really have, it going with the putter. He didn't make any birdies out there today. But besides Brooks just not making birdies, he was not getting beat by bogeys or double bogeys. I think only 2 bogeys on the card for him today. Controlled golf, kept himself in it. He didn't lose the British Open today. He kept himself on the top of the leaderboard, and now he gets to make a push on Saturday and Sunday, much like he did at Erin Hills.
Yeah, you look at how Spieth's round went. It was a little bit erratic with the eagle, a couple birdies, a bunch of bogeys. That's not the recipe to win this tournament. I think what you're saying with Koepka, steady Eddie down the road, a bunch of pars, no doubles, a bogey once in a while, a birdie. I think you're going to be in this thing. He's at 3 under par, 3 off the pace right now. How about a surprise tomorrow? What can we expect to really surprise us on Saturday at Royal Birkdale?
I just think it'll surprise a lot of the American fans, but Ian Poulter is playing the best golf of his life, bar none. He is in contention, obviously, at 3 under, only a few shots back. He's only made 2 bogeys in this event. That's best. There's only one other person that's done that in the entire British Open so far. So he's playing really controlled golf, and I think you can make the argument he's had the worst draw of the weather. Went out really early on Thursday, kind of went out in the middle of the pack today, had a lot of wind and rain that he had to deal with, just like Jordan Spieth and the gang. So I think Ian Poulter, he's only 3 shots back. You can make an argument, has played as good of golf as anybody, Jordan Spieth included.
Not the Englishman you expected to be in this spot. There's so much talk about Tommy Fleetwood. You talk about Poulter making only 2 bogeys. I think Fleetwood made his first birdie of the event on his second to last hole today. So not what you expected, but Ian Poulter, hey, he saved his tour card. All of a sudden, he's in contention at a major. Sean, a lot to look forward to this weekend. We are excited for round 3. Thanks for being with us, man. And that's going to do it for this special edition of Golf Live. Be sure to stick with Golf.com for full coverage of the British Open all weekend long. Jordan Spieth is your leader heading into round 3 at Royal Birkdale. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.